Live from the Export Beer Garden Studios, this is the feature-length agenda.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
G'day there, welcome along to the Agenda feature-length Thursday special. It's myself and Manaia Stewart. How are you?
Yeah, good. Dressed as Dallin Wateni's Lesniak, as are you.
Yeah, we'll get stuck into those a bit later on.
Yep.
We've got a lot of these hats to give away.
And to pull the curtain back straight off the top, Heath unfortunately couldn't be here with us. The day in lieu yesterday, who would have thought that broadcasting from a pub for an entire day might have wound up in Heath losing his car keys and not showing up to the podcast the next day?
This is massive. This is Matt Heath to a T. He turns a victory into a loss at a single second or a single moment. They raised thousands of dollars for bowel cancer in New Zealand yesterday.
Over 10,000.
Yeah, we were down there. We helped out. We had little ceramic poos to give away. All sorts. It was very, very kind of toilet focused, which was perfect.
It was,
really.
But it was also an awesome afternoon to just sit there, and then all these like live bands were coming through and playing songs.
We had racing, John Toogood.
Yeah, it was
Pluto.
a rollicking time. Yeah, Pluto were there.
And anyway, a great victory for Radio Hodaki, for Matt Heath.
For bowels everywhere.
I mean, Di Henwood, inspirational individual he is, was down there most of the day. Lee Hart made an appearance as well. A lot of good feels afterwards once everyone wrapped up. Bit of a wrap party.
Yep.
And Matt Heath managed to get so hammered he lost his car keys. And these days, losing your car keys, Manaia Stewart, is niggly.
Yeah, I know. You can't just go down to the mall and get another one cut, can you?
Nah, he's got a. This is lifting the curtain even further back. He owns a Ford Focus, gunmetal Ford Focus.
Is that right?
He did have a Ford Ranger, but he struggled to park it.
Well, and he also took the door off the hinges down in the parking lot and brought the central city to its knees.
So he's got like a little Ford there Focus that can park itself and all sorts. It's quite a new, very new. With the heads-up display with the speed and everything.
Yeah.
But along with those cars come an electronic key, which stops your car getting nicked, but means if you lose your keys, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And some would say, why didn't he just go get his spare?
That's right.
He lost his spare.
Okay. So he's actually running the spare, and it was the spare that he lost last night.
Yeah, it was the spare he was running last night. $900 it's going to cost him. So he's stormed off to. He threw it out on Classic. He threw it out on radio saying, "Hey, can anyone help me? I'll give you a plug on air." So he's probably out at John Andrew Ford right now.
Yeah.
Doing a live cross back into Radio Hodaki in exchange for a $900 chip key. To his car.
Tell you what would be way funnier is if you're listening to this and you have the capability, get us a copy of the key first before you can get one to Heath.
That's right, because all you need is the computer number and the chip number, everything in your car, and they do it at the dealership.
Yeah. So
just basically issue 400 or 500 of them, and we can just use his car like the city hop.
Yeah. Like a personal Uber.
Unknown to him, we're just city hopping in his little gunmetal Ford Focus. Yeah, so Heath, not unable to make it today. He did throw out the fact he had parent-teacher interviews, but we do this podcast early in the morning, and I don't know what school his kids go to.
It's 10 o'clock right now.
Yeah, that's not happening. Super Rugby final was on the agenda, but I don't really want to talk about that anymore. You probably do.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
No, I don't. We've moved on. My only bit of joy that I got bought this week was seeing secret footage of the Chiefs' Mad Monday. They got taken out on the Mowbray boat.
Yes,
the
Zuru boat.
The Zuru billionaires boat from Cambridge. Family originally from Cambridge, big Chiefs fans.
They got Kim.com's house, don't they?
Yes, they do.
They do. Yeah.
It's the Zuru Palace. Out on the boat there, having a great time. Lurch was really letting his hair down.
Yeah, he was lurching.
He was lurching. And I tell you what, you wouldn't want to bump into Lurch at a rave or a concert, would you?
No, he was lurching. He was an urchin, to be honest.
Yeah, the arms were... He was kind of dancing with the arms, and the arms had a wingspan of, he's well over 2 meters tall.
Well, so they were on a boat, and they seemed to be in some sort of pool.
Yes, there was a spa.
Like a hot pool,
There was a spa on the back of the boat.
A jacuzzi.
And to be honest with you, I've never seen so many grown humans in one spa. I'm sure if they got out, there would be about 30 centimetres of urine-soaked water at the bottom of it. But that brought me some joy that they were letting their hair down, because they were so gutted to lose that. But I
know the All Blacks are in camp at the moment, aren't they? So are the Super Rugby Grand finalists in camp? Probably not, eh? They might that might have given them a week, surely.
No, I don't think so. I think they're all up here. I saw them at Les Mills.
Oh, really?
Yep. Braden Enor is there because we tried to get him on. His sister, Courtney, is constantly saying, give Braden, he'll come on the podcast. Every time we do, he goes, no thanks.
Yeah. I actually got psyched out, and this is something I'm man enough to admit. The other day I was going to go to the gym, and then you guys came back and said that you just saw the entire wider All Blacks training squad walk into the gym across the road, and I was like, what am I going to do? Go and do my half-ass workout next to the All Blacks?
Wise choice, actually, because Mike Minogue,
Yes, he was there.
he went there, and he got shamed by Bowden Barrett because he was spotted sitting on the bench press on social media.
Working out his thumbs.
And he got papped from behind by Bodie Barrett.
Yeah.
Just going, working hard.
Yeah, so great decision by me. I would have been doing just the same thing, working out the thumbs. It's so emasculating standing next to someone who's a professional athlete. Christian Cullen used to go to the same gym that I did.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't get through a workout without people punishing him for a photo, punishing him for advice, or just telling him their favourite memory of him when he played.
That's why they all wear headphones now.
Yeah, 100%.
Everyone and they don't just wear the AirPods because you can't tell if people have got them on. No. They wear big, ginormous, the bigger possible. So you go, okay, that's a sign of just don't talk to me.
The old podcasters, they'll chuck the old podcasters on.
But I'm looking forward now, Manaia. Yep. I've put the Chiefs Mana. I mean, there's a few Chiefs Mana fans that have come after McConey and I as well.
Yeah.
There's a wanted poster out there.
Well, you abandoned them in their hour of need.
I know.
You were nowhere to be found when they needed you the most. Well, you weren't even. You were in the Greater Waikato region.
I was in Chiefs region,
and McConey was at the game as well.
Well, he was found in the changing rooms, jock sniffing afterwards. I heard. Anyway, let's move forward. All Blacks first game. They're going to go out to Argentina, and their first game is Sunday week. 7 in the morning, Oof. 7 o'clock in the morning, so a great Sunday sesh for everyone. But the big news for us is these next, I think, 5 All Blacks games before the World Cup, we have a Ford Ranger to give away worth over 40K thanks to Trust Motors, the legends at Trust Motors.
Yeah.
Check them out, trustmotors.co.nz. They've got some sweet wheels. But this Ford Ranger is blinging.
Oh, it's the tits. It's we were calling it the road rival because I felt like every time we overtook someone out on the motorway or the highways of rural New Zealand, people were looking at us like, oh, there's our rival for the rest of this trip, and they'd try and follow you. And you really dominate the road. It sits up quite high. I don't know if they've jacked it up a little bit. It's got the off-road wheels. I know the guys at Trust Motors, I was talking to them about it. They were like, if I won it, first thing I'm doing is taking it off-road. Wow, not into the chat. No, it's an absolute beast. And like I said the other day, they've taken the headlights off a Mustang, put it on it.
Yeah.
It drives like an absolute beaut. Diesel Ford Ranger, so great mileage on there.
Yep.
And there's nowhere you can't go on that bad boy.
So to win that, anyone can win that. You just have to tune into our coverage and tune into the halftime show. It is the biggest halftime show ever seen in New Zealand.
Yep.
There's no other halftime show in sports history that has given away a car in it. So basically, we give you a chance to enter each and every All Blacks game before the World Cup. It's on Sky Sport 9 and iHeartRadio and on Radio Hodaki as well. So it's everywhere and anywhere. So no excuses. And you can take away that Ford Ranger thanks to Trust Motors. Go check them out, Trust Motors. They were voted the best large dealership in New Zealand.
It's just fun to scan through all the cars that they've got. Go out to the showroom as well. Honestly, you feel like you're in a Fast and Furious movie.
That's true. That is true. So last night, the Ashes kicked off. Great to see it on TVNZ. TVNZ Duke. It was pretty seamless. It was great to just have free on your TV. Boom, away you go.
Was it 9 o'clock, the first ball?
9 o'clock, half an hour warm-up show. And I tell you what, the warm-up show is fucking punishing.
Who is it?
It's Kevin Peterson. Kevin Peterson talking like that.
Yeah.
And he's got they've got their work cut out for him, Australia. And it's like he's kind of got this annoying half English hybrid accent, but it's all on helium. And then it gets worse. He finishes ranting, and they cut to Ricky Ponting. And Ricky Ponting starts going, nying. So I had to mute the half an hour warm-up. So I could not stand it.
Would it kill them to put us on there?
Would it kill them just to put something half interesting? And they've got all these innovations where they walk over to a couch, and they're sitting on a couch, and they walk over to the stupid touch screen. And they piss around with that. But Lords, great to see the hovercraft out again. They've got a hovercraft pitch cover, and I've always said, if I win lotto, if I'd won that 33 million last night, the first thing I would have done was bought one of those hovercrafts for
where?
I was trying to think who gets the most cricket, who gets the most test cricket.
Basin Reserve.
Basin Reserve, or maybe Hagley.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they need somewhere to keep it at the base, and they wouldn't know where to
There's nowhere
keep
to
it.
park that.
But there's always a catch. I'll donate this $5 million hovercraft pitch cover.
Yeah.
But the rule is I get to drive it out onto the field at the end of the day's play, no matter how wasted I am, and I can bring my mates. So
Yeah.
everyone just be on it going, "Wah!" just doing doughies and the hovercraft covers.
Oh, I'm all in. In fact, do we start a Kickstarter, a GoFundMe for that?
Yeah, that would be great. And they're not the only ones with the hovercraft because it's so good. Because the hovercraft, at the start of the day, like we turned up early when I went to Lord's, and we'd all go, ooh, because I'd start the hovercraft up and it goes, and it raises
Lifts
up.
up.
Lifts up, and everyone's like, woo, and then it drives off. And like you can see all the English supporters are used to it, but you see all these lizard Kiwis going, woo, hovercraft.
It's the most cricket thing of all time to celebrate something that's not cricket that's happening on the field.
So anyway, the covers came off. First over was bowled by Jimmy Anderson.
Yep.
It was a bit nervy. David Warner stroked one through the covers. Unfortunately, we had money on
The first ball.
go for 4, but
Yep.
it didn't quite come off. And because England won the toss and bowled, I think that kind of ruined it from the start. Anyway, strokes it through the covers. In between overs, out come a couple of protesters.
Yeah. So they had some sort of orange powder. I think there was 2 of them from what I could see. They were trying to run out and throw it onto the pitch. I've seen them do this at a snooker tournament recently.
Yeah.
They ran out and throw the powder all over it. They wouldn't have done bugger all to the pitch, but this was great because Johnny Bairstow, you might have seen the footage by now, just picked one of the guys up and
The bear
just carried him, the Bairstow hug, and he carried him all the way off the pitch like he was like a sack of concrete or something.
They carried him under one arm.
Yeah, like it was a canoe.
He was a man-child, though.
Yeah.
The guy that ran out, he had a disgusting little ponytail.
I was just going to say, have a guess if he had a ponytail or not.
But because the best thing about it is you knew something was happening because you could hear the crowd, and then the commentators like, there's some protesters on the pitch. And then you saw an explosion of orange stuff as it got bitched. One of the guys got bitched kind of near the bowler's end.
It never got to the pitch.
And then they had the wide beauty shot, the kind of fisheye shot, and I could see this little white figure running off to the side, and I was like, is the protester dressed in whites? And then they focus in. Bairstow has got this little maggot under his arm, and like no security's helping him, and he goes over the ropes and dumps him over this, and security then sit on him.
It was great, and it's good to see that the players are obviously fed up with this because at the other end, where that guy that didn't quite make it to the pitch, Warner and whoever the nearest fielder was.
Ben Stokes.
Oh, was it Ben Stokes?
Yes.
Oh, the gay Avenger. They were the first people there, and they were stopping him. He was like checking him like an ice hockey player, Warner was, with his bat.
Could you think I couldn't? Okay, this is how thick these pitch invaders are.
Yeah.
So he runs towards Ben Stokes, who we know and we've seen proof of it, can throw hands.
Throws hands, yeah.
He throws hands.
No one thrower of hands.
No one thrower in Bristol. He knocked out 2 guys in the space of like 3 punches.
Yep.
He knows how to throw hands. The other guy's coming trying to attack has a cricket bat, a helmet,
pads,
and protective gear.
Gloves.
And is dangerously dumb.
Yeah, and Johnny Bairstow's an absolute monster, and he's got metal gloves on too, and pads.
So
presumably a box.
I wouldn't have. He would have gone up in my estimations if Warner had just clocked him around the head with the bat.
Yeah, and I think that's all that needs to happen. You only need to hit one of them.
Yeah.
All would-be pitch invaders, if they saw one cricket bat get wrapped around the head of a pitch invader, they'd be like, okay, right. We can find another way.
I'm out.
Maybe we'll throw the powder from the stands. I don't know. I don't even really know what their point was. I don't know what their powder was, but what was it going to do? Just like provide an extra bit of slide on the pitch? Or, I don't know.
And they were protesting oil. Or big oil or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like banning big oil. But
sure. How'd they get there? Fly?
They didn't. They definitely probably drove there.
Yeah, 100%.
But they chose. I mean, like the only bit of credit I'd give these fucking Muppets is they chose between overs. They chose between overs to do it. That's the only bit of credit I'll give them.
Bit of game awareness.
But get a bit of game awareness, but stupidity in the fact that they tried to run on and they tried to run through the slip cordon where there was the most amount of players, i.e. Stokes, the keeper. Because Bairstow scooped up one.
Yeah.
He didn't even get to the pitch. He scooped him up in one arm, and the other one had tried to get through Stokes and Warner.
Yeah.
And they should have come from the other end where all there was Daddy Longlegs Stuart Broad, who wouldn't have touched anyone.
With a Ninja Turtle headband on.
Yeah.
I think that these guys, just judging from the looks of them, probably not sports guys. They probably didn't know too much. They knew just enough that, they've stopped playing right now. Now's our chance. But not enough to be like, why don't we run in from the offside where they've only got one fielder?
Can I also say, what a wasted pair of tickets to the Ashes.
Oh, 100%.
Game 2 of the Ashes,
They're not
Lords,
cheap.
the home of cricket,
Yeah.
and a couple of ponytailed losers with a bag of orange Gina powder or
Yeah,
whatever it was.
Raro.
Come running on. There'd have been, I reckon, tens of thousands of people who would have taken those tickets.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And someone bought those tickets, or someone gave them those tickets, and shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
But the cricket itself.
Oh, cricket itself, yeah. So Australia, in the end, did pretty well. They got first day honours, 339 for 5. Smith, he's on looking dangerously good. He's 85 not out.
Hopefully Lords start chirping him again. The
Yeah.
chirping he was getting last game was absolutely terrific. We saw you cry on telly.
Yeah, Lords is a bit different.
Yeah.
Lords, when you go to Lords, you do get a bit of a dressing down before you even get in your seat.
Do you?
Not a dressing down. You have a host in your grandstand.
Really?
And I'll never forget Owen. His name was Stewart, and we're he introduced himself, and he's in a green blazer, green tie, white shirt.
Wow.
And he welcomes himself, and he comes down to the seats and goes, "If you need anything, if you got any questions, come and see me. Look, I'll even go get you beers if you want." And we're talking to a bunch of Kiwi lizards.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's quite a nice guy. And he goes, "Just a few rules. No banners, no obscene chanting, no banners.
No fun.
Flags. You can have a little flag." But he just gave us the rules, and he goes, "And you can only get to your seat between overs. So if you go off and get a beer and you come back, you got to wait until the change of bowlers so you don't disturb people's views."
I think that's fair enough.
That is a great rule.
Yeah, it is.
So everyone's very polite there, and there's no Barmy Army as such because they don't really sell in groups there. Whereas
Right.
you go to Birmingham, you go to Headingley, that is loose as. Like that Birmingham one, that is known. So is Leeds.
Right.
Leeds gets loose, but I don't think there won't be much chirping going on at Lords.
Right, okay.
Did you not
Polite
see the
clapping.
crowd?
Not really. No.
Dangerously old and buffy and white middle-aged men.
I did see
a lot of those.
So someone filmed that streaker that we were talking about before, and I watched that footage. It was quite funny because I was sitting in there saying, "Who's that there then?" That's bloody Johnny Bairstow. He's got one of the streakers. It's great.
It's so good. Lords is next level. Like I went to I think a England West Indies game.
Yeah.
Not overly lot of demand for tickets, and I had a friend who was a member, and he took me into the members area. And like when you say members area, it's not that long room area because that is like real exclusive. Like both sides.
The UFO?
The UFO is the media centre.
Ah,
the
is
other
it?
end where the players are.
Never known that.
Where the players are is that kind of brick building.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So there's a long room in there and there's members, but all the members there are like dangerously old. Like
Yeah.
in their 80s, 90s, they're Baron van Munchausen's. But on either side is an extension of the kind of members as well, which are kind of younger members.
Right.
But there's still some old bufties in there. Anyway, what happens? This is how it happens in a test match at Lords. So they all line up dangerously early because they all want to get good seats.
Yeah.
So they all get in there, and as soon as they sit down, you're allowed to bring a bottle of wine in with you, or a bottle of champagne, or some beers. So
Brilliant.
They get into it pretty early, 10:30 to 12,
Yeah.
and they really get into it. They have a massive feed at lunchtime,
Yeah.
and then they have a few more beers, and then tea break. They have a cup of tea and they sleep through the last session.
Is that right?
I shit you not. I was in my seat and my friend goes, "Check us out. Look over there." And I looked over and there were 5 dudes like just in their kind of 80s going, just like folded arms. So their heads was down like that. And he goes, "Check over there." I looked over there and there's another whole of dudes just all just sleeping it off before they get into their Jaguars and drive home.
We get driven home.
Yeah. So it's a great place. And also everyone leaves their picnics out in the gardens around the outside. No one touches them.
Is that right?
So like in New Zealand, you just have lizards going around opening up, sculling champagne,
Yeah,
eating their
100%.
strawberries. But they have a security guard there and they just leave your picnic out. It's very different.
Yeah, why can't we have that kind of thing here in New Zealand?
We're pieces
We're
of shit.
untrustworthy.
We're pieces of shit.
Yeah, I know. I had friends come up from South Canterbury one time to Auckland. We went down to the viaduct. There's boats down there.
Oh, God.
And I was like, "See, Timaru, Caroline Bay, why couldn't we have something like this down there?" And then they were like, "Because someone would throw their pint glass straight through the front windscreen of that boat there as soon as you set it up." I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right,
And that's
yeah.
why we can't have nice things here in New Zealand."
Because we're pieces of shit.
Yeah.
But it is the home of cricket, Lords. And to be honest, tickets are like the cheapest tickets for Ashes is over £100. So you're paying over $200,
$200.
and that's not a good seat.
I've never understood that UFO at that one end. It just looks so out of place. What was the point of that?
I think it's a statement. But
It's
it is
certainly a statement.
It's a media centre and commentary box.
Right.
What they've done, though, they've actually redesigned the stands next to them to actually blend it in. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen that. They rebuilt those after
Little
the
bit.
World Cup.
But still, then you turn to the other end of the field and it looks like a completely different venue.
Yeah. Any chance you get to go to Lord's, take it, because it's an experience. You can buy champagne by the bottle and take it back to your seat. So it's like they're very open about that. And I tell the story about we went to day one, got absolutely peeled on day one, went out, celebrated because we just landed in London, dangerously hungover. There was a group of about 8 of us. We arrived the next day just bleeding from the eyes.
Yeah.
You queue up, we're like, ugh, and they check your bags. Guy opens up bag, goes, "Where's your beers?" We're like, "Mate, we're too hungover, mate. We can't face any beers." And he goes, "Go wait, stand aside." And he still aside, and he goes, waits the person, "Wait there for a second." And he comes over and goes, "Guys, there's an off license down here. Go get yourself 4 beers each and come back." He goes, "Trust me, it'll make you feel better." And we're like, okay.
What a legend.
And we all went off going, did we just get thrown out of the cricket because we didn't have beers?
Yeah.
And everyone goes, yeah.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
So anyway, we go there and we come back. We bought 4 cans of Foster's each.
Yeah.
Go back in. And he goes, "There we go, boys. Now you go." And we goes, and I think one of the group went, "Love you, man." And then went to our seats and we proceeded to chew through them. And what do you know? A couple of hours later, good as gold.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100% you would be. Hair of the dog. That's so what? How much would they have lost? That's like $2 a can over there, isn't it? So they would have lost about, I don't know, let's say they lost $100 on beers that you would have bought. But then everyone that you've told that story, like I now want to go over to England just to go to Lord's.
But most people take champagne or wine because it's a bit more higher percentage.
He took one look at you guys. It was just like
beers.
Foster's. Yeah.
Total. But the champagne, everyone brings champagne. And at the lunch break, it's tradition. All you can hear, and everyone's seats, because you take it to your seat and open it up.
Yeah.
You can bring glassware or whatever. And all you can hear is bottles by like corks that is flying all over the place. It is wonderful. It's a great place.
Oh, I need to go.
Yeah, so day 2, 9:30 is the first ball. 9 o'clock you can watch fucking Kevin Peterson wire on and you'll want to punch Ponting between the eyes. So just tune in, TVNZ Duke from 9:30 tonight, day 2. This is our TAB good punt this week because there was showers all yesterday and there are showers due Saturday, Sunday.
You're right.
And
so this could be a washout.
So I've put our $100 bonus bet on a draw.
Oh.
And it's paying $4.95 because this is Bazball and Cumble. And they have good odds on a draw, but there's always good odds on shit weather in London.
Yeah.
So it was drizzly day 1, but the rain is due to come in the weekend. So let's pray for that because they're paying $4.95.
We're essentially betting on weather at this point.
Correct. And you can always bet on the bad weather. You can always bet on bad weather in England.
That's great. It's good happiness insurance as well. If we don't get to watch a couple of games, days play, then that's because we've made a lot of money.
Yeah.
$4.95. Tremendous.
Yeah. Waz! The Waz, we're full back on the bandwagon. I don't think there's enough room on the bandwagon for who's climbing on.
Well, by the time you're listening to this, there'll probably be today or tomorrow that the Warriors are playing at Go Hard Media Stadium on the Friday night against the Bunnies, and you cannot get a ticket because it is completely sold out. This happens from time to time in Warriors seasons. I remember famously there was a guy sitting in the stands. It must have been 2018. We went on a run, made the playoffs. And towards the end of that run, it was a sellout after sellout after sellout. There was a guy standing in the front of the crowd with a sign that said, "Where did all these fans come from?"
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
And just as quickly as they appear, they disappear again when the Warriors lose.
Well, it shows what winning does. This is what winning does. Yeah. And look at the All Blacks. The All Blacks are playing at Mount Smart in, I think, 2 weeks or so.
Right.
Or 2.5 weeks. They're playing South Africa in Mount Smart. That's not sold out.
No.
That's not sold out, so that's a worry for New Zealand rugby. If the Warriors either side of that All Black game are selling hacking it out.
Yeah.
But the Bunnies, I wouldn't write the Bunnies off.
No.
I think the Wars are $1.69 and the Bunnies are over $2.
Yeah, it surprised me that we were that heavily favoured at the TAB, the Warriors, because the Bunnies, they don't have Latrell. He's out. Cody Walker's been in and out with injury, but I think he'll play. But they're still a team that's capable of putting 50 points on anyone, and they've done that a few times this year. Like, they'll just come out and absolutely smack someone. They lost to the Dragons. I think it was the Dragons or the Knights the other day, and they turned around and scored about 3 tries in about 4 minutes and towards the end to just about win it. So this is a dangerous team. It's going to be an excellent game to watch if you're lucky enough to be one of the 28,000 people who have got tickets to that.
Yeah, and it's on Sky Sport 9. Yourself and Keezy are bringing you that game. But
8 p.m.
We've got an exciting piece of merch that we're launching.
Yes.
After DWZ's 4-try effort last week. Let's have a quick listen to those 4 tries in a shotgun commentary type montage.
Here comes Johnson. Johnson backdoor. Here they come now. CNK over. Yes, Dillon. The Warriors go. DWZ might have overrun him. Is he in here? He leaves it here. Dillon. What's in it? Zalesniak scores again. Back to Dillon. What's in it? Zalesniak. He's in again. 4 tries for Rick James. Bitch. Try time.
Great stuff. I mean, he is absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
And as a result,
We've got new merch.
we've got new merch. We've got the DWZ black flap hat with the built-in flowing curls at the back. I like it. I tuck it behind the ears here.
Yeah.
Let it flow out the back. Text shop to 3236. We've got hundreds of them actually.
Yeah, they look a lot like the old Colin de Grandhomme ones that we used to make. Remember
They
those?
do, but they've got more curls in them.
Yeah.
We've permed them a little bit more and we've given them a bit more gloss and run an oil through them.
I love the way I look in these. I was saying before the podcast, I would love to grow a mullet if I could, but my hair's so straight I look like a Pantene commercial. So to be able to have this and just have the option of having it there or to not have it there,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's
Hey, look, and if you want one,
delightful.
what can we do? If you've got a group going to the Warriors game,
Yes.
like more than 10 people,
Yeah.
slide into our DMs on the ACC NZ, slide into the DMs, let us know, and we'll send you 10 DWZs
Yeah.
to wear to the game, and you'll definitely get on TV.
Yeah, we need you to all be sitting together.
Yeah.
If you get bonus points if you're down in one of the corners where Dallin Watene-Zalesniak is likely to score a few tries, then get a hold of us.
Yep, they're only
Get a bunch of these on you.
They're only $19 on the shop. 3236.
Reasonable.
Very reasonable. Good sun protection as well. But yeah, get in there Friday night, 8:00, Sky Sport 9. On the back of that, Manaia, we've got tickets.
Yeah, we do. Thanks to the official caterers of the ACC Leader NZ, the home, as we all know, of the lasagna topper. The agenda, we got 3 double passes to the Warriors versus Rabbitohs tomorrow. Plus, we got a bunch of $20 topper vouchers as well, which have been keeping the ACC fed for a number of months now. All you got to do to get in the draw is text Bunny to 3236. That's Bunny to 3236. And like I said before, you cannot buy tickets to this. It's sold out.
Yeah.
So this is your last chance to get tickets, and it's through us of all places. So text Bunny to 3236. You and a mate could be heading to the game at Go Media Mount Smart Stadium tomorrow. I'm still not used to that now.
No, Go Hard's better.
Go Hard Stadium's
Go
great.
Hard Stadium. The Go Hard, or like Lasagna Topper Stadium.
Yeah.
The Topper Stadium.
Oh, I don't mind that.
The Lasagna Topper Stadium by Go Media at Mount Smart.
Yeah.
I think we should just add that to it. It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue. And if you had 20,000 lasagna toppers on sale there, they'd sell out in about 10 minutes. I reckon.
100%, yeah.
10 minutes.
I'm all in.
ACC name bracket continues.
Yeah.
Controversial. I mean, I've thrown you under the bus a number of times for some of the battles you've put together.
And I want to remind people that this was a random bracket generator. I just entered all of the names in. It randomly spat them back out.
You can't, but surely there's seeds.
was-
Surely, did you have a top 10 seeds?
No,
You
because
don't-
then we would have had to do some sort of other competition where here's the number 1 seed.
It's like going to Wimbledon. You don't go to Wimbledon and then just put all the players into a random generated bracket. You'd have we would have had Federer playing Djokovic in the first round.
Yeah. Well, look, I feel like they should. It'd add a bit of tension to it. And certainly if you ran a daily podcast, it'd give you something to talk about. I don't appreciate the fact that my relationship with the Whakamana Express has been compromised because
hugely.
he threw me under the bus by telling him that it was me that put him up against Steady the Ship early doors. And look, granted, it was me that put the bracket together, but again, random number generator. Anyway, we're into round 2 now.
Yep.
I've just gone through. If you want to see, there's a record of all of the battles so far up online at theacc.co.nz.
Yep.
So go and check that out, and you can see who's beaten who and have a look at how the bracket's sort of shaping up. But the first round, the first matchup of the second round is Hairy Jav versus Sir Lingus. There's going to be a lot of these as we go on where it's going to be like, Jesus, this is a heavyweight battle.
Yeah, the Jav would have taken it out, surely, did he?
Well,
Did the Jav take it out? Well, because he campaigned hard.
yeah, this is the thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty resounding in favour of the Jav. It's going to be very hard. I mean, he's got a moment that's attached to his nickname. You know, like people have that image of Jason Hoyt screaming Jav, Jav, Jav.
Are we going to have is it going to be an upset? Because this is kind of like the Super Rugby final that was inevitable from the start. Are we staring down the barrel of a Jav Steady the Ship final, or will there be an upset?
No, 100% we're staring down the barrel of a Hairy Jav versus Steady the Ship. It's almost a foregone conclusion. what I would implore people to do is to vote your conscience, Don't vote the party line. Just because your dad's always voted Hairy Jab doesn't mean you have to vote Hairy Jab. Vote for what you feel is in the best interests of you and the wider New Zealand population, the team of 5 million, and then that's probably the only way we're going to get an upset, is if people just genuinely stick to their guns, go with what feels right for them and their family, and votes for the nickname they believe in.
Okay, good call. White on of the week. I'm just going to skip this section of the feature length agenda.
It's got to be the Crusaders, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, see, this is exactly why I wanted to skip this section. You know what?
Yeah.
Is anyone left in Christchurch? Because this whole office is full of crusading wounders. Is there any South Islanders left there? Is there anyone there? Is there anyone?
Is there anybody out there?
Because it seems like every second person I'm surrounded by you, Joe Jury, Jason Winstanley.
You know why it is? This is a big part of it, is because we are, as a fan base, there is a loud minority of Crusaders fans who are quite woundy, I'll be honest with that.
Yeah.
But then there's also a lot of us, like me, like Joe Jury, who are closeted Crusaders fans.
Yeah.
So we don't like people to know that we are. But, when it comes to the pointy end of the Super Rugby season, we feel free to be ourselves at that point.
Free to be me.
And quite frankly, very proud of it as well. And I don't feel like we should be judged for that. It's 2023, Lane. If I want to be out and proud as a Crusaders fan, then I will be. And what I will say, though, is I know a lot's been made of Ben O'Keefe copping, all sorts of death threats and that kind of thing, and we talked about it on the podcast. It would have been so much worse if the Crusaders lost. The vitriol that he would have received would have been just through the roof if the Crusaders had, Sam Whitelock yellow carded along with 2 other yellow cards.
Given the amount of leverage that O'Keefe got for that post with the montage, I'm thinking of going through my social media and getting a montage out. Because I've had some pretty spicy ones in my time as well.
The difference is no one's going to feel sorry for you.
Yeah, it's true, actually. It'll be a pile-on. It'll be a pile-on even more.
Yeah. It's like, actually, I've got one that springs to mind. Yeah.
Oh, shit. It's never the Cyberbully Tuesdays we used to do on Radio Hodaki. Were my favourite days. But it's like, don't bully other people, bully us. And some of the shit that would come through. It was very clever, but brutal.
Yeah.
And
you can be mean if you're funny.
Yeah,
I've always said
exactly.
that.
Yeah, that's right.
You know how it was 7 in a row that they're claiming. Yesterday there was a bit of controversy between McConey and Tony Lyle whether or not that was actually fair or accurate. What do you guys reckon? With the is it really 7?
I said it on the commentary. We don't count that Blues one because that season that was Super Rugby tranny. That was the Trans-Tasman one where it was just us in Australia. And basically the whole competition was who can put the biggest hiding on the Waratahs. So the Crusaders won just as many games as everyone else, but they didn't make the final because of points differential.
Yeah, you didn't waste the Waratahs enough, did you?
It's just not in our nature to do that kind of thing. We're not flat track bullies. We don't like to just beat up on teams that are really struggling.
Are you saying you are pro-retards?
I'm pro-Tars, always have been. I'm retards inclusive.
You didn't go full tar, did you?
No, we didn't go full tar. Now, granted, the Crusaders in just the last 2 weeks absolutely humped the Drua by 50 points and then the Blues by 50 points. But that's the exception that proves the rule. We don't like to beat up on people, and that's why. But that Blues title will forever have an asterisk. When Rico Ioane sees Doug Howlett in the halls of Eden Park, Doug Howlett's not giving him the recognition being like, yeah, you won one too. No.
I reckon he's getting Dougie Howlett in a headlock and giving him a noogie.
I don't think he is. I think Dougie's like, I'm an actual Super Rugby champion from 03. You haven't done anything. You got the tranny, you got the asterisk, but it doesn't count. And so back to your question, Adam, 7 in a row. Fucking suck it.
Yeah, but
Can we move on? Because seriously, I'm getting PTSD. Can we move on? Attendance required. You know what it is.
Yep.
You know what it is, New Zealand. It's Wires vs Bunnies, 8 p.m. Friday night. Sky Sport 9. Thanks to the legends at 4 and 20 pies. Geez, tell you what, if you're ever going to blow on a pie, blow on a 4 and 20 pie because it's got that, especially the min and chi.
Oh, yeah.
Because the min and chi, the chi is
thermonuclear.
But now it's time for
Toppa Plays of the Week. Brought to you by Leader NZ's Lasagna Toppa.
number 3 on the Toppa Plays of the Week. Not very sporting, not one of the most sporting of Toppa Plays of the Week, but there was a pilot of a small aircraft. I think his name was Ben Marling. He took off from Tauranga Airport, cruising up the coast, went past Papamoa Beach, and proceeded to circle just outside of Te Puke.
Yep.
And he did a couple of circles, and a magnificent shaft right down the middle between Makatu and Papamoa, and created probably a cock and balls that is at least 3 or 4 kilometres long.
Well, he's done a couple of circles for the balls as well. What most impressive part of this to me, one, the ratio of ball to shaft. It's they're big balls. And then the other thing is how accurate it is. Like those circles are almost perfect. I feel like this is an autopilot thing.
Yeah, you're right, actually. He must have stuck the GPS on and drawn the GPS.
Yeah.
Can you do that on a small aircraft, though? I don't believe the small aircrafts are equipped with that sort of technology, are they?
Maybe, but that is deft pilot work there. He's taken off from the Tauranga Aero Club, so I suppose it's kind of sporting. It's a pursuit more than a sport. But yeah, really, really impressed. Remember we used to get people to map their runs and draw
cocks,
sticks and balls, and they were never as accurate as this. This is just, it looks almost fake, like he's drawn it on Microsoft Word.
You're right, too. The back wheels are big. Compared to the shaft.
Yeah.
But look, that's a challenge out there. Any budding pilots out there, you could go bigger.
Oh, 100%.
And I'd like to introduce landmarks as well.
Yep.
So, if you use Ruapehu, Ngātahoe, and you circle them a couple of times, or maybe even using the mighty Waikato as a shaft in a straight area, and then a couple
of mounds.
Start using the landscape. So any more budding pilots out there, and we'll get that up on make you famous. You'll probably get your pilot's license revoked,
for sure,
and your Aero Club will come under question.
Certainly, I won't be getting on board the plane with you, but I'd love to see your work afterwards.
And I'd like to see a passenger jet get involved here.
Yeah, bit of MH370 action.
Yeah. So if you're delayed coming into Auckland Airport, maybe just a couple of balls around the harbour, then maybe a big shaft out to Raglan and back.
Just know that there's a Punisher in the cockpit listening to an ACC podcast right now.
Okay, number 2, Rick James.
Bitch.
Rick James, bitch. As you called him, scores 4 tries for the Wires. Let's hear those back to back again.
Here comes Johnson. Johnson back door. Here they come now. CNK over. Yes, Deloy. The Warriors go. DWZ might have run him. Is he in here? He leaves it there. Dallin. What's in it? Zelezniak scores again. Back to Dallin with Denny Zelezniak. He's in again. 4 tries for Rick James. Bitch. Try time.
Great call from you, Manaia.
Thank you.
Rick James, bitch.
I'll tell you what makes commentary, a 10 p.m. commentary, way easier is when the Warriors are just racking up points. 48 points they scored. And Rick James, he's catchy. This is the great thing about where the Warriors are at the moment. I watch so much NRL content across the week, and the Aussies are genuinely talking about the Warriors. And it's no longer, oh, geez, the Warriors are doing well this week. Yeah. It's geez, the Bunnies have got their work cut out for them. They're playing a top 5 team, they're blah, blah, blah. And we're starting to gain the respect that we have known we deserved for about 23 years now.
But you've been through the hard times because you did a couple of years ago, you did the Weekend Warriors where you commentated every Warriors game on iHeartRadio.
Yeah. 2017?
Yeah, was it 2017? 3 years ago? It wasn't that long ago,
No, it wasn't that long ago.
But it was, I think at one stage you commentated 8 losses in a row.
Yep.
And
we did.
Like brutal losses.
Yeah, I remember it.
So you know the lows.
I remember my breaking point, and it was Cohen Hess scored a try against us for the Cowboys, and I just remember snapping and just being like, "This sucks." But best time to start a business is in a recession, and boy did we! The Warriors were very heavily recessed over the last few years, but they're coming back, mate. And this year, obviously, is our year, but next year looking even more like our year. So Rick James scoring 4 tries, fucking tremendous.
Number 1 on Toppa plays of the week, and it is the internet wins again because we all know that Razor Ray gets in and does a bit of breakdancing in the middle of the field. This time he got interrupted by the collapsing caterpillar from Richie Moanga, who stole his thunder a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
a lot.
And then his MIDI came out, Razor's MIDI came out. And
She can boogie.
She can boogie, she can move. But the internet wins is someone sent us this. It is basically the footage of him dancing with the Venga Boys over the top, and it's an uncanny timing. Here comes into the circle. Here comes Moanga. So it's a great piece of footage.
Yeah, well, it's almost a taunt there because we had the Munibus remix of that Venga Boys song playing for a while.
Oh, do you think that's a troll?
And then they've come out and played that over the top of Razor breakdancing. I initially wasn't happy with Richie Mo'unga. I feel like if he knew that he had that worm up his sleeve, he should have saved it for after Razor because, Razor might have wanted to express himself with the worm. Richie's now taking that off the table.
Yeah, no, but you know what, though? I agree, and I think if he'd finished with the worm and just stood up and walked off, that would have been fine, but he then went into the hurricane.
Yeah.
And he pulled off the hurricane a lot better than
Razor was able to.
Yeah, so it kind of looked like a geriatric hurricane compared to an actual breakdancing hurricane.
Richie's one was out of control. Yeah. It was ridiculous. It looked like he was a video game character bouncing across the ground like that.
Yeah, well, it is his final game as well. So,
I know.
So it's a farewell from him.
Sam Whitelock's final game as well. Could he have? Would it kill him to get a couple of head spins going?
I think, you know what? Looking at the Whitelock family, I think it's more a stomp clap family.
Yeah.
I think it's a...
Yeah. Very.
Yeah, I think that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, to Thank God I'm a Country Boy.
Yeah. Or to, what's that other punishing song everyone in the South Island dances to?
Wagon Wheel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you reckon he could do a good robot? I feel like the big rigid size of it and rig of that man, he could do a robot.
Not on purpose.
No.
But I feel like if you asked him to dance, you'd be like, oh, mean robot. And he'd be like, what?
That's my best move. So there we go. That's the feature-length agenda for this week's Thanks for Notice. Dailies back tomorrow previewing the weekend of sport and probably hopefully a few more protesters get snapped in half by cricket players at the Ashes. Catch you later.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.